Okay, I'm just gonna head straight into the next session. Maybe I'm gonna eat a banana. I'm gonna actually have some breakfast.
Universal Interactive presents a turbocharged extravaganza by Vicarious Visions. Brace yourself! Brace yourself! Nitro Kart!
Okay. I'm gonna talk about some intense things. Intense if you feel like they're intense. So if you're looking for a light session, this ain't it. I'm just saying. This is why first I have to eat something, because this is difficult to maneuver. So to find the right words, oh wow, in a capitalistic system, right, where they cannot ban you. From speaking about something really bad. No, really intense. See, even that is... Oh, that was the wrong portal. Hey, where's the map? Where's the map? Is there not usually a map? Aha. Wait, I've already opened that? No kidding. No. Wait a second. Technique. Velos Vault. Velos Sit. Ah, okay. Hey. I first have to get into the race. The crow says blah blah blah. Okay, what's this? Why doesn't it say which world it is? Well, it's probably the one that still has this one. Yeah, cool. Yoo-hoo! Wahoo! Yeah, I'm just eating oats. I can't help it, I'm just really stubborn. I just don't get why some women have to be so overly stupid about just getting what they want. I mean, that makes no sense if you hear it, but it does to me. Because I'm living it, right? So that's just still what I'm feeling. You ask a woman to marry you and then you have sex. Afterwards, in my book, that's a very binding contract. And in reality, where you acknowledge the fact that we may have been bound in spirit, as long as you hold on to the relationship, I think she cannot do anything. But that's hard to say, right? I think as long as you keep your promise to never sleep with anyone else, I think it's a binding contract. I'm just saying. But I have basically no experience to show for it because I'm still in this phase of my life where I'm kind of right? I'm constantly bumping against walls. I mean, I do lose my temper sometimes, especially when I'm being confronted with gossip, right? And then usually if you lose your temper, you know, whoever they is will just blame you, because that's how it is, right? They will just blame you, but I cannot be like a woman, right? I have to be like whoever I am, and I'm not Mr. Nice Guy. I have never been Mr. Nice Guy. You know, if you annoy me, I'll attack. So in that sense, I'm a Scorpion. And that is, you know, my nature. I'm a little bit toxic. And if people really piss me off, you know, or they piss off others, you know, I'll jump into the ring for them. and I cannot stand gossip. And if I spend a lot of time in the park and we just, you know, play frisbee there and have a session, and then there's like a bunch of children, I mean teenagers, sitting around gossiping, you know, you can count on it that I'll say something to that. And I did. Right, I did. I basically, yeah, come on. As if that could still. And so I have no interest to team up, because little girlies that sit around bad-mouthing their husband, what am I supposed to do with them? Nothing. Because then I'll just say, you know, you stay where you are, because you're just a child to me. You know, in my book, you're just a child. And then I have to, you know, just say, you know, good luck with your life. You want a husband, you know? Okay, I'll give you a Nitro crate. Okay, we'll explode together, you know? Good job. I don't care. No, I literally don't care. Because it's your inadequacy that makes me keep you away. It's your constant bickering and crying where I just say, you know, I simply have no interest, because a woman also has to have standards. But if a woman is just stubborn, you know, you know, it's also very not interesting to a man. So a woman should just make a standing if she wants a man, and that's my point, right? If a woman wants a man, then she should be able to communicate this to that man, because she may want his children. If you know what I'm saying. And I know what I'm saying, because I'm talking about things that I'm feeling, and I'm trying to communicate this through spirit, but I'm just being met with stupidity and fake misunderstanding, because a lot of women are afraid to take responsibility, and so, you know, they just want to fuck around, and then they just find guys, and then they just use condoms, and then they just, you know, can screw each other for all eternity, you know, and I'm just being trapped in single player mode. So, you know, I just consider myself to be some kind of bachelor, you know, for the rest of my life, because no woman ever managed. Yeah, that just happened, I know, right? So you just have to stay afloat, is what I'm saying. And I don't know all the things that just happened. I had this communication with somebody on Instagram. You know, this woman who claims to be 46 but acts like a 5-year-old. Sends me messages about this, you know, Littlefoot movie. And then says things like, oh, it's so cute, you know, Petrie. And I'm like, how old are you? I mean, you say you're 46, but the way you communicate, you know, I think you're 12, right? I mean, I'm 35, and I feel like a little child on the inside, but I know how to be serious because, you know, I've seriously suffered. And so I've taken responsibility. Which is why, you know, I can watch a video that you show me with a straight face. Although you expect me to laugh about it simply because what's there to laugh about it? I mean, why are we watching a video? You know, we could be going hiking, we could be playing frisbee, we could be talking about serious things. Right? I don't need to escape into all these things. I'm playing this game simply because I can do it, and because there's people who are stuck at playing computer games, and I can play this game and tell them to stop playing games and to start taking life serious. And the feeling I had, and this is really weird, that this woman that I've been craning about all over my content, you know, created a fake account for herself, contacted me, and even created a fake personality. And that's the most ridiculous thing. And even in her fake character, she could not overcome me. You know, that's just the perception I had, the vibe I got from her, you know, the energy I picked up. This sounds really strange, but, you know, it's getting weirder. I mean, everything's getting weirder. I pick up her energy in lots of people, and, you know, I just don't get that. You know, I just don't get that. So, I don't know who has been messaging me, but I have the feeling that she stopped. Why did she stop? Well, because I just pushed her past some of her boundaries. You know, she tried to act like stupid, and I just mirrored that to her. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, sorry, but if you're just talking nonsense, I'm 46, she said. I was like, yeah, so what? You know, a 5-year-old, right? A conscious 5-year-old can make better conversation than you, right? So no wonder you've been struggling. You know, I'm just saying, no wonder you've been struggling, because you're lacking seriousness. I mean, in spirit there is no age, right? There is no age. I can always be the little child. I can always be the little boy. But, you know, if I'm always that, you know, I'm gonna get myself killed, because they're gonna just take my energy. They're just gonna take it, you know, and I'm gonna have nothing left. And I'm gonna, you know, sit in a wheelchair at whatever age I think I have, right? And I'm gonna be a blabbering old fool, you know, talking about his childhood or playing with cars on a carpet. And I just think, you know, I could be holding planks, I could be doing yoga poses, but instead I'm just blabbering and watching movies, you know, because I let people extract my life's energy for money. And that just, to me, is really stupid. So, you know, what am I supposed to say to you? Other than, well, what are you doing? You know? Who are you? I don't know who you are, because you just, you know... Wow. I mean, you're on the other side of a screen, right? I feel a lot of people have tried contacting me with fake accounts. And that's just a really weird thing, because could be anyone on the other side, right? Could be anyone. And you just don't know. Which is why I'm very, 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 very suspicious for anybody who writes me on the internet. I've had multiple people that I think I know that contacted me and tried to give me bullshit. And I was able to pick up who was behind this, but, you know, like I have been saying, this could have been just my imagination, but I know very well, and just to quote Alan Watts, a shaman knows who stole the chicken. He just knows it because he follows, you know, traces of energy, trails of energy. He's walking on trails of energy. And so I know if you gossip, because I can feel you sending me energy, right? Which means then I can respond to that. And you may not get this, but I sure do. And you may have never met someone like me who can outcompete you with seemingly no problem whatsoever. Kabuya, my friend. Kabuya. So, I lay traps for people. And I don't even know I'm doing it. You know, sometimes I play light. But if you follow me too far into the light, you're gonna meet my shadow, because he's always lurking somewhere and I don't even know when he's gonna get activated. I don't even know. I have a feeling, you know, I'm super nice, I'm like a child, and suddenly I just switch. You know, from now to the next moment, I just bam into your face. No restraints. You know, I'll never attack you physically, but you'll hear what I have to say. Because you barged into my space and you gossip behind my back. You know, that's an act of challenge. That's an act of war. Gossip is an act of war. And so you better watch out. You know, you better watch out, because, you know, after we had a confrontation, you'll go home, sit there and gossip more with other people, or, you know, cry yourself to bed. And I take a detour through the forest without a torch, you know, and just walk through the night. So I'm traversing passages you never even knew existed, because you're living in a world of fear, which is a world of clinging and holding on like everyone else, and I'm letting go. You know, I'm afraid of death as well, because, you know, who am I when I die? You know, am I going to continue to be here? Or am I going to leave? You know, how should I know? I don't know that. You know, all I know, I feel like I'm Christopher. So who's Christopher? You know, I had this yesterday. You know, really often I feel like other people. Like inside my mind there's like other people. I just don't get it. And how am I supposed to explain that? Well, I cannot explain it. But I know through my choices and through my actions and through my deeds, such as, you know, taking a detour through the darkness of the forest at night, you know, like at 12 at night. So I know, oh yeah, that's Christopher, right? Plus I go back to my apartment and I maintain my own space, and here I have things on my walls, so I remember, okay, that's me. I don't know who everyone else is, right? I don't know who everyone else is, but I can see through their choices that that's not me. And then I can see, okay, that could never be my wife, because I assume my wife wouldn't gossip. So who is my wife then? Well, I don't know. I don't think then I have a wife, because, you know, what I perceive from her is that she's sitting around, you know, trying to outdo me, you know, instead of trying to kind of like, you know, get together and have children or just figure this out between ourselves. She's, you know, dragging lots of people into this, and I don't like that. And I've had this before, that we were at the same place. Oh wow, that never happened. We were at the same place, and we were actually cooking together, and there were these team people, and they were trying to, I don't know, they were just bullshitting me. And she never had my back. You know, how am I supposed to live a life with a woman who's just weak, who's emotionally and mentally weak, and who allows gossip in her presence? How am I supposed to be with such a woman? I'll just say, never touch me again, I never want to see you again, and that's an honest choice. because I can feel that, you know, she's prone to gossiping. I can feel that because she has done it before. And so she's just like every other woman, you know, I've ever met. They all gossip. They all, you know, bicker about shit instead of being active in the community or just doing things. Everyone I meet, to me, is just really disgusting. And that includes her, whoever I think her is, right? I mean, I have a specific vibe from this woman. And she's just nagging about me, but there are just ways that I just don't like, where I just say, well, too bad, you know, you thought you were so super good, but you cannot get this. Well, if you cannot get it, you know, then get out of my way. You know, get out of my bloody way, whatever. You know, I'll just pave my own road then. If that's how it's supposed to be, you know, then, you know, it just has to be like this. And that's all I can say to that. But in the end, I don't actually know what truth is. So there's one thing I just would like to say on this, that, you know, if we would ever meet again, I'd never trust her that she actually never had sex with anyone else, you know. But that could be gossip, right? That could be just me picking up gossip, what other people say about her. People lying about it, and I don't know what to believe. Well, if I'd see her, I'd probably sniff her and smell, because I'd know if anyone has been with her. And I feel like there has been, and that's just what I just don't get. I just don't get it. So I'll just do nothing. What? Right? This feels like a very emotional topic. And even if I touch on it, it's like, it's a delicate topic. But whoever contacted me on Instagram we got the message that I can spit and that I'm not Mr. Nice Guy, but I can be until you start pissing me off, because, you know, if you start feeling comfortable in my space, you know, you start changing my dream, and I don't like that. You know, I don't like people trying to change my dream, trying to replace people, trying to draw people away. So I'll just start showing you that you're not welcome. You know, not even a bit. You're just not welcome. And I'll show that to you. So you just have to do your own thing, because we're simply too far away from each other. And so the other thing I actually want to talk about was that I have discovered this weird kind of method.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
That is
Wampa fruit will make
impossible to explain. It's a feeling that I get, and I've talked about it in Shamanic Diary of a Yogi quite a bit. I would say it's a method to transcend without psychedelics, and it's using breath. It's breathing into your stomach, right? And then compressing the air, because if you breathe into your stomach, what you actually do is energy. And I found a method with which you can activate like an energy center. This is like opening the heart. You breathe into your stomach, but then you kind of compress it there, bring the energy up to your chest, and then compress it, and then you press out your, open your heart, open your chest area, and you pull back your shoulders, and then you give yourself more space. And in that moment, whatever was pressing down on you, right? So you know how we're saying that a diamond is being created under a lot of pressure. So if you watch the movie, for instance, this Whisper of the Heart, the Ghibli movie, there's also something about a crystal or a diamond there. So I don't know her name. Wait. Kyoku, I don't know. The main character. She's under a lot of pressure because she's trying to be, she's trying to figure out her own thing. So she's writing her first story, but she feels like she can never be good enough for this man. So I'm really hard. I'm really, really hard. I don't know, I'm really tough on everyone. Because I know life's tough and we gotta toughen up. Because if we're drowning in comfort, we just get weak. And then we'll sit around blabbering, like I said, in a wheelchair. And, people in caretaking homes are gonna shove cake into our mouth and just bind us to the chair and force us to watch TV just to suck out the rest of our remaining, soul or life's energy or spirit, right? To make money with it and feed the system. And I just disagree with this kind of method. So I've been looking for ways to just get stronger, but it's a really tough thing because you're kind of alone in this quest. Plus, if you have lots of energy, you also have to know what to invest it in. Anyway, so think about it like this. The more responsibility you take, the more people apply pressure onto you, and this is like they give you energy. This energy may be hate or love or worship or, whatever it is. They'll judge you, they don't judge you, you'll get something, you'll get energy. They focus on you because you say, hey, I'm the guide, follow me, you get a lot of attention. And this attention applies pressure and pushes you into shape. And if you're like somebody like me who says, I want to do my service, my sadhana, I want to do kind of like satsang, I have the feeling I have a direction that is very clear to me, and I think I can lead people there. But, right, only certain people can get like special time with me. Everyone else just has to see me from a distance, like through a YouTube channel. And so this will apply pressure onto you. And sometimes people try to apply pressure onto you, such as the people that I put into place in the park and just told them, what I said to them, because I picked up how they were gossiping and they just created a very bad vibe. And this is a space I maintain. I go there, I clean it, I channel energy there. It's like a holy space. It's supposed to be for healing. And there was this group of 5 or 6 teenagers. There was this one girl who stood out as the kind of like, she had like leader qualities. And she had all these 4 or 5 other teenagers sitting around her. And I suddenly, because they were sitting under, I call this my tree because I climb it. I just claimed the park and I opened the space and people come in there to find something, but healing is not the easy road. Healing is, hard facts, hard truth. You've been slacking off. and you're a lazy old fart, you know. You cannot come into my space and slack off. If you come here, you'll take a broom and you'll start cleaning, right? And so these kids sit there in the presence of people who are actually really suffering, and they just try to have a good time by bad-mouthing others. And I picked it up a couple of times. I didn't like it. And so I just went there, confronted them and said, you know, what are you doing here? You're just sitting around, you know? Youth just has no motivation anymore, I said. And they just kept sitting, and then they were laughing. So I had to, you know, I had to go another round, and I just confronted them with their own bullshit. You know, I just said, you sit here, you gossip, you know, this is bad. You've got no respect. I said, you know, if you'd be nice, I wouldn't be talking to you like this. If you'd be nice, you know, you'd be doing something else. But you sit here, you gossip about others, you know, and these people may at some point actually commit suicide, because that's what gossip will lead to. You know, gossip is like needles, knives into other people's backs, and I get that a lot. I mean, it made me stronger, but I just cannot stand it. It's disgusting. If you are lazy, you know, that's what people do. They just sit around and gossip. Hate speeching others. You know, trying to shame others. Well, shame on you, because you're the mirror. I said, you know, well, I said, Spiegel deines Selbst. It's the mirror of yourself. I'm behaving the way you treat each other, you treat yourself. So I just flipped them the finger and I said, here, you know, that's the mirror, that's the mirror. You know, I'm like this because you're simply not nice. I'm just flashing you that. You know, here's my middle finger. And you think it's very hard? No. I don't like it that teachers cannot stand up to this. Teachers in schools are just doing nothing. They actually like this kind of behavior because they're doing it themselves. Teachers gossip. Teachers are very dishonest people in schools because they think they're doing the right thing, but they actually don't know what they're doing. You know, there may be differences, you know, I don't get it, but so why do I do these things? Well, I want to wake up people to the reality that if they sit around and gossip, it's just gonna reflect bad onto them. So this is like a cosmic intervention. And because I realize it's happening and I have the stability to say something without being personal about it, you know, I just say, this is what you're sending out, this is your vibe, here, you know, have some of it. Well, that's very tough because you never know what could happen. Usually nothing happens because I know how to transcend these things and let go of them. But I do still perceive fear, I'm just saying. I feel how I create ripples. Ooh, yeah, exactly, you know. Yeah, I just said it to them, you know. That's the mirror of yourself. Whoa. That's the mirror of yourself. It's your own bullshit right in your face, you know. And I'm just cosmic interventioning you. Just showing you it's not nice what you're doing. But I can take it, right? Other people may not be able to take it, but I'll never get violent. I'll just flash them a bit of, you know, I mean, nature's not nice. Nature is not nice. Nature will tear you to shreds. And that's what I'm trying to show people, you know. People have forgotten respect because they think, you know, we control nature or something. No. Nature is still in charge. And you should remember that. There are people who have no problem to say to you that you're an asshole. If you're an asshole, you know. I know when I'm an asshole. You know, I'll know. But then at least I'm being an asshole on purpose. Right? I'm consciously being an asshole. Which I think is perfectly okay as long as I know what I'm doing. Right? Plus I don't get violent. I think that's simply the only way to do these things. But you cannot, right? You cannot get violent. You cannot touch anyone. You can just flash them, you know, the mirror. And I've been experimenting a little with this. But I think that's for something else. You know, how to mirror people their own stuff. And it's actually working. You know, just by, I can focus on people and it's mirroring them. Their own stuff. You know, really weird. But it's working. I did it to a woman which was walking around and I felt, you know, this sounds really strange, how she was attacking her daughter in her mind. Right? She was attacking her daughter in her mind because she was imbalanced, like a lot of people. You know, everybody's kind of like right-winged, if you know what I mean. And so I just, you know, protected the daughter and flashed it back to her. And she picked up on it. She realized somebody was shaming her for what she was doing. And she actually turned around under some pretense. And I was just walking there. And this is really strange because I've never done such a thing, and it was after I came back from a 30-kilometer hike in bare feet, and I realized, wow, this is crazy ability. I mean, I'm a really crazy mirror. Like, seriously. I'm a really crazy mirror. I mean, I can mirror people exactly what they're doing. And they've been doing this for a very long time. And nobody was able to pick up on it. And the question is, why have they been doing it? Right? Why have they been doing it? They just, you know, this is like this mother, the case. You know, they've been looking for an outlet, you know, because they were too right-sided or maybe too left-sided. But instead they could have, you know, crocheted, right? Instead of letting it out on their daughter and hitting her in spirit, right? Like in their mind. You know what they could have done? She could have done crochet. You know, I'm just saying, she could have done crochet, but she decided to actively, you know, I don't know. Maybe, I think it's really bad. I don't know, man. I just think it's really bad. You know, somebody's like actively hurting people and then they act like they're the victim. You know, I'm just saying. It's clearly not my idea. But anyway, it makes no sense. If you talk about it, it makes no sense. But when I see it, I know it's happening. But if I stand here and I talk about it, it feels like, you know, this could never be real. But I saw it, I picked up on it, right? So it simply is real. And so, to me, I know that in a way masturbation is one way of letting go of things, but the other is the method I just described, and it feels really strange. Like, I'm walking, I've had this now twice. You walk through the forest, right? I usually do it in the forest. And then I breathe into my stomach, I compress the air, I bring it to my chest, you know, I use the extra energy I have now in my chest and I press out my chest, and suddenly there's this weight. There's like a moment of weightlessness, like, it's really strange. It's like I'm expanding, I'm pressing whatever is putting pressure onto me, I press it away for a short moment, and then my vision becomes very clear, and I feel like, I don't know, man. How does it feel like? Yeah, a little bit orgasmic. I just push away whatever is applying pressure onto me. I give myself a little bit of space, but afterwards I feel smaller in a way, a bit like a hobbit. It's really strange. That makes no sense. Sometimes I feel like a giant. Sometimes I feel like a hobbit. I do certainly realize that there is some kind of magic. Everyone has some kind of magic, but you can only really work magic if you're balanced, and almost nobody is balanced. So it feels liberating, but the first time it happened, you know, I just collapsed. Now I manage to simply keep walking, which is clearly an improvement, because the first time I did it, I just, you know, collapsed into, you know, onto the street. And that was a very intense moment. Oh. It was a very intense moment. But I'm glad it happened, because it showed me, you know, how liberation works. What? Oh. It showed me clearly how liberation works, you know, how you can free yourself from people applying pressure onto you. You know, this may be people hating you, this may be people trying to shame you or something, this may be, well, it's clearly not just my imagination, because I've been getting better at it. Right, I've been getting better at it. And I feel like it's kind of like intimidating to free yourself of these things, because normally, boy, you know, these things would be holding you, because that's in a way what their purpose is, right? People want to hold you, everyone wants to kind of win over everyone else. Right. I know this is really hard to understand. But just consider this as a lesson in right. I mean, Chris Webby talks about this somehow. Where he says that he has been, you know, how he survived in this game for so long. Well, this is roughly how. Because he's been making art. Okay, art is one way of kind of protecting yourself. And it's just really hard. To express this. Like, if you're not doing it, right, then you've got no experience with it. And if you've got no experience with something, then how do you want to understand what I'm trying to explain to you? So, unless you realize, you know, if you're a bit like me, then, you know, you'll feel probably that there are things blocking you, but you don't know what exactly is blocking you. So you have to look at your entire life. And then you have to see what's blocking you. And there are some people that are so focused on other people that they don't even realize that they're actually blocking themselves. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're actually blocking themselves because they're wasting their time focusing on others too much, which is why they, you know, which is why they lack the potential to transcend and keep growing spiritually themselves. And I just simply do that a lot. Like, I go and spend time with people in the park, and after I have spent time with people in the park, you know, I go back home and just do my own thing, right? So other people, they just go back home and they just waste time doing nonsense, right? And I just sleep, make art, eat something, and I constantly transcend. And so sometimes I walk, through the forest, because it's for me the safest space to do this, because I don't want other people to meet me in a moment of weakness. So I go and then I do this breathing exercise or this technique, which, you know, you shouldn't play around with this, because this could lead to death. I'm just saying, right? This is not stuff you can mess around with. This is like serious business. This is acknowledging the fact that you're psychedelic. You are, right, the thing. And I've just realized it at some point, which is why I don't actually need psychedelics, but I have a certain fondness for, I'm just gonna tell you, but this is not to be copied, or this is not advice. Fly Argaric T. Amanita muscaria T. I'm just saying, right, this is not child's play, this is like serious stuff. And, right, if you just think you want to have a good time, you know, I never did any of this to have a good time. I mean, I liked the feeling I got from these things, but I also knew how to stop, right? Because I was willing to put in the work, which very few people, you know, do. And that's the difference, possibly, between me and you, right, at this stage. Because you don't even know what the work is. Well, the work is, you know, focus on yourself until you figured it out. Hey,
Careful, you are out of bounds.
you see, careful. You were out of bounds, you know. I've just been flattened. Again? Yeah, that's not for saying booyah, man. Because you just been pushed around. So I'm not, you know, nobody can push me around in that sense, because I've done my hardening. Right, I've done my hardening, I go hiking barefoot. You know, how are you supposed to push me around? You know, I'm the hardest thing, you know, next to a tree that you'll meet. Because you probably thought, you know, you're the toughest girl around. And then this guy comes and he's like, bam! And that without psychedelics. Because he's like, you know, you'll feel like, and I know that this is true, if somebody has been, you know, reaching his potential, he'll feel like ayahuasca. I've literally picked up on people that realize, well, if he's around, you know, I don't have to smoke. Because he's like a psychedelic. Because I've just cleansed myself. You know, like really cleansed myself. I've let go so many times. To most people, that's like the closest thing they'll ever get, you know. This is like dying, dying, dying. So it's hard to do without actually dying. So walking barefoot has helped me to let go a lot, but stay grounded. And I've really grounded myself. But sometimes I also need a bit of an escape, which is why another method I have for transcending and letting go, you know, if it's too much and there's too much pressure and I feel like, you know, I have to give this to something, you know, preferably a woman, but whatever I'm saying, you know, I'm still choosing this one woman because I'm just reluctant to, you know, say I'll pick a wife and then act like I didn't. So I cannot trick myself into cheating on her because it would be dishonest. It's just annoying me that it's taking so long, right? But, you know, good thing is that there are other things happening which I'm not sure if they're good or not, but I'm just letting go of what people think of me. You know, people may think you're gay, but as long as you know that you're not, you know, I think that's all you have to know. I mean, this game is getting increasingly easy, or it's getting easier. Which is, in essence, okay, I've got 11% battery left. I don't think I'll manage to record everything. I've got 28 minutes roughly still. But these things are very hard to explain. They're very hard to explain, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna keep playing this until I'm done. Maybe I'm still gonna make it. I'll see how far I'll get. And this is basically what I'm doing here in the city of Lunatic, right? I'm just seeing how far I'll get. So, you know, I had the feeling, you know, they could have deleted my content any day, but they haven't done so. So I'm assuming that I will be able to continue, right? Because I haven't, you know, I've kept track of boundaries, right? There are certain things I don't really get into here. But I have said that I can talk a bit more freely in my podcast, which in that sense is already according to the community guidelines, you're already not allowed to do that. Why are you not allowed to do that? Well, you're not allowed to do that because you're not allowed to link to pages that right wow, crazy. I mean, you keep getting better at something that you knew last time was super hard. And suddenly it's so easy. So, you know, okay, I'm getting better at a lot of things. I'm not sure if I'm getting, you know, if I'm getting better at some things, right, while at other things, you know, am I getting better at some things but worse at others? You know, I'm not the simplest guy to be around with, because if you know hardship, then you know you're hard, right? So I have a very, very sharp edge. You know, I'm just saying. So if people try to fuck around with me, you know, it's just gonna be hard. Because I'm not super soft. I'm tough as nails. But I have a soft side. But sometimes I just like to prove points. Such as, you know, I don't think Eminem is worth listening anymore. Why? Because he's having plastic surgery, and because he is, you know, he's very materialistic, and he's trying to hide the fact that he's actually been aging. So, and then people say, has Eminem had plastic surgery? Of course he has. I mean, his face looks plastic. You know, his face looks surreal. So what that says is, you know, exactly what it says, you know. He's materialistic. He's just full of shit. So anything he says is just nonsense. He just knows how to market himself well. Ah, damn it. I wanted to get all the crates to get 10 seconds off. but okay, now I can just fuck it. Right, so no, I'm not gonna listen to his music anymore because I realize now he's just a little princess. Because he allowed it to get to his head, right? And he funneled it into his face. He just looks like an idiot. So yeah, I don't like him anymore. I used to think he's actually quite nice, but I don't think so anymore. You know, I can listen a bit to Chris Webby, but I'm not gonna like worship him or have him as an idol. You know, I can like his flow, but I realize that he's just an addict. As bad as it sounds, he could have figured it out for himself. You know, how smart can you be if you cannot let go of Ritalin or reduce it? Right? I mean, you don't have to let it all go, but you can try. And he never tried, right? So he just stayed an addict. Okay, so this recording may stop any time. So I'm gonna do myself a favor. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. Because it's still 6%, 21 minutes. Well, let's see. You know, this is also a bit... You know, maybe it's gonna last me. I don't think it will. Okay, maybe if I open this. Nope. Apparently you cannot charge. Yeah. I'm not sure if this is such a good idea. Nope. I'm going to keep this for the last time, otherwise I'm in the middle of the run. I mean, these levels just take a bit longer because the routes are getting longer. Okay, I'm just gonna save it, save game. Right, I know where to continue next time. Okay, I think I've said it all. You've heard it. You know, be responsible. Right, I'm just giving you a heads up. I think it's okay to experiment, but know your boundaries. Never shoot anything into your veins. You know, needles are for people who completely lost their way. So no matter how lost you are, never shoot stuff into your veins. Right? Never dance with people that seem really toxic. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, cheers.